Welcome back to Matt Smart Cars, and firstly, it's been a very long time since I've uploaded. I've been very busy at work, driving some incredible cars, like the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Fluo Capsule, what else, Land Rover Defender, Bentley Flying Spur, loads and loads of stuff going on. However, I think I need to explain the title of this video. Yes, my M135i is going back to BMW. Not because it's broke or that I don't like the car, but I'll come clean. I work for Rybrook. That's why I do Rybrook TV. And this car is my company car. So I've put a lot of miles on this. I think I'm just about to tick over to 7,700 miles in about 3.5 months. And basically these demonstrators can't go over a certain amount of mileage. So very soon, I imagine the next couple of weeks, I'll be coming out of this car, going into something else. I don't actually know what it is. I'd love it to be another M135i, or I'd love to actually have a try of the 235, because I spent a little bit of time in one last year and thought it does drive slightly different to this. So it'd be quite interesting to see if my initial thoughts on that car were justified. But in all honesty, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going into, and I don't think it's going to be one of these, because the stock of these in the UK at the minute is more or less non-existent. The market has just gone absolutely bonkers for cars like this. So yes, the title isn't misleading. I am going to be coming out of this car very soon. It will be going back to BMW, and actually it'll be up for sale at Rybrook Shrewsbury BMW. I'll put a link to them in the description of this video. But let's have a little roundup of my ownership and time with this car over nearly 8,000 miles in the last 3 and a bit months. So those issues that I had right at the very start with this car, the amplifier, all those sort of things, they haven't changed how I feel about this. And actually yesterday I took this car on a bit of a road trip, a completely impromptu road trip with my soon-to-be wife, to the beach through some amazing mid-Wales roads. I've done the journey so many times and never actually had a really good run. Whereas yesterday, on the way back, we had a completely clear run through some incredible roads. And this thing, it just lights up. Most of the time it's incredibly comfortable, in all honesty. It's very quiet, it's very easy to drive, and let's move on to MPG. So when I'm pootling around like this, my MPG is, I mean, not great. High 20s to sort of low 30s is what you're looking at getting in little pootling around town. But I will say I've done a lot of long distances, so I go a lot from where I live in Shropshire down to Bristol, up to Huddersfield, a couple of longer runs, about 250-ish miles at each time. And on those sort of drives, this car is getting high 40s, low 50s, which is incredibly impressive for a 300 horsepower performance hatchback. And on long journeys like that, it is very comfortable. Now, I have been having a few issues with the Android Auto. Now, I don't think that is the car's problem. I think it's my phone, which I am desperately looking to change, because I've always been iPhone, thought I'd give it a bash, hated every second of it with the Android. So I'm going straight back to iPhone as soon as I can. Definitely want the 12 Pro Max, because that thing looks pretty bonkers. But anyway, back to this car. Something that was pointed out to me, which I've never mentioned before, and I didn't really think about it until a friend of the channel on Instagram messaged me, and that's just picked up his M135i a couple of months ago now. Asked if it was normal how much turbo noise you get from this when you're driving with the windows down. It's not that warm today, so I'm not doing it. But on a warm day, in a car like this, you like to drive with the windows down. And it's something that I've never really picked up on until it was pointed out to me. And he is entirely right. When you've got the windows down in this and you start to press on a little bit, you don't really hear the exhaust, which is a shame. You only hear a ridiculous amount of turbo noise and whistle from the turbos. Again, something that I never really thought about until it was pointed out to me. And that's one of the things that I wish this car had. I wish it sounded better. Come on, BMW. You know you can make cars sound better. I'm not saying that it sounds bad. I've actually heard this from the outside a few times and it does sound pretty good. But the thing that really gets me about this is the starter. So if you've been driving for a while, you turn the car off, go and do some shopping, come back, it's still quite warm. When you start the car, give it a little blip on the throttle, it fires out a load of burbles and pops. It's almost like it's teasing you. It's saying, you know what, I can do this, but I'm going to choose not to. Like, why? Why, BMW, would you let it pop and burble when you start it up, and then after that, literally a couple of seconds after that, if you try and rev the car again, it won't do anything. It won't burble, it won't pop, it just sounds normal again. I don't get it. Why tease us like this, BMW? Why are you doing this to us? What's the point? Just let the car burble, let it pop. I know you've got to hit all these emission regulations, but come on. Jaguar can do it with the F-Type. Lamborghini can do it with the Huracan. I know there's slightly different cars, but you're BMW. You're one of the biggest automotive manufacturers in the world. Why can't you make the cars pop? That's my only rant. That's my only rant with this car. Because the rest of the time, it's brilliant. I've loved every single second with this car. When the H&Ks were sorted out, they were phenomenal. And actually, on the subject of H&Ks, that's something that I have noticed a few comments. There is a global shortage of the chips. I think that's what they are anyway. So there's big restrictions in the whole automotive world, not just BMW. Jaguar Land Rover are having big issues with it as well. On these little regulator chips, I don't know the technical word for them, but it means that H&Ks and wireless charging pads aren't currently available. Yes, rather annoying, that one. Not a lot that BMW retailers can do about it, so if you are looking at buying one of these cars, please don't get annoyed with the retailers, because they can't do a thing about it. It's at national level, it's at world level, because there's just a shortage of these chips, so there's not a lot that can be done about it. But to sum up my experiences with this car, it's practical. I have all my camera gear for Rybrook TV in the back. I've got loads and loads of bags, as you might expect, loads of different gear kit, and I actually did some tracking out of this. If you don't know what tracking gear is, it's the shots, the rolling shots that you'd see on Top Gear and in the Grand Tour and a lot of videos. And I always wondered how they were done, and it genuinely is harness, high vis, in the back of the car, boot up, camera, gimbal, hang out and hold on for dear life. It's actually a lot of fun. But this is the best tracking car I've ever tracked out of. I've done it in Discoveries, Ford Fiestas, Range Rovers, all sorts of different things, but this is the best car to track other cars. And actually, it was quite good. I was tracking a Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive out of the back of this, which was quite an experience, and that video is coming to Rybrook TV very, very soon. But to wrap up, I'm going to sorely miss this car. What would I change about it? I'd probably have the different wheels, the different 19s on it, and I probably wouldn't have black. I mean, it looks great in black, but as soon as it gets any dirt on it, it just drives you mad, because it doesn't look anywhere near as good when it's dirty. But as I've said, I've enjoyed every single mile in this car, all 8,000 of them, and I really, really do hope that I get to go into another one of these, although I highly doubt it, if I'm honest. And that makes me very, very sad. As always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will say, I'm sorry I've not made much content on this car. I'm really hoping that whatever I go into next, I can make a lot more content on it. I'm really hoping it's another one of these. It's just been very, very busy at work. So, I am going to make a big effort to create more content on this channel, because I think there's so much potential with obviously the cars that I get hold of. Thinking back to it in hindsight, I should have stuck the GoPro in the corner in that Lamborghini. I had an event, not an Aventador, a Huracan Evo for a day, overnight. Incredible experience, and the video for that again is coming out very soon on Rybrook TV. I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, I am going to make a lot more content, whether it's top 10s and all the cars that I've driven, etc, on whatever car I'm driving. That's the thing. Even if I don't go into another M135i in the immediate future, hopefully I'll go into another one in a couple of months, because obviously I'll put the same sort of miles on whatever I go into next, and then it'll have to change again. So hopefully I'll get back into an M135i or a 235 very, very soon. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.